everyone, Once Bitten here. So we go to Game 2 of Buckeye Battles 2017. I'm just coming off a really surprising Game 1 loss. I thought I had a victory in hand and just everything slipped away right at the last moment. And I'm hungry for a 20-0 victory because I know I'm at the bottom tables right now. So I'm playing a dude that I know from back when I lived in Dayton. Just a real good guy. And he starts off this game by saying, one, he's playing Beastlords, and I have a lot of experience with that army. And two, he's like, yeah, I've only had a chance to play a couple ninth age games. And I said something like, well, let me apologize now for what I'm about to do to you. Because I need 20 points. Yeah, I didn't say it in a cocky way, though. Anyway, yeah, and he didn't really even write his list. He kind of wrote a list, and somebody tweaked it, and here he goes. So, yeah. So starting off on the far right, he's got 6 Minotaurs. They have the Blackwing Totem. He has a horde of Longhorns. They've got the, I think the extra attack armor piercing totem, but they've got a totem in there. He's got a spellcaster, 2 shamanism spells, as well as a BSB with the 4-up. Then he's got his general and a Razor Tusk. He's got Dark Rain, which doesn't matter against my army at all. And Sword of Might and a 5-up. And a Lucky Shield. 6 more Minotaurs. He's got a horde of Wildhorns. They've got a totem. I think they have the extra attack totem. And they have the banner of the Wild Herd, so they can be strength 4 once per game. Then a unit of 3 Chariots, which I think he made a mistake in deploying because he put them kind of out here far away from everything. But it's a long game, so you have a chance to get him in eventually. And if you look at the top left of this picture, he has a unit of 20 ambushing Wildhorns, and those, of course, are always a hassle. So I actually hugged the corner because I didn't need those guys popping up behind me. So I've got my trebuchets and then my caskets. And then I want my archers back because I don't see them really helping out a whole lot as redirectors necessarily. And I really just wanted, like the two on the right of this picture, I want to shoot as Minotaurs. Get them to as weak as possible. So really I have my army back, and all I have up front are some fast cav and then my battle sphinxes because their job is to hold up those hordes. And I think not only will they hold them up, I think they just grind them down as well. So here's how it looks on the left. And we go to Beastlord's turn 1. He moves up like that. Nothing happens with magic. He doesn't have any shooting. Real fast, we go to Undying Dynasties turn 1. So if anything, I moved my army back. The only thing I really did was I repositioned my battle sphinxes to be over on the right, and I took a unit of fast cav, and I'm redirecting his Minotaurs on the right, and they're kind of redirecting his Longhorn herd. They can get past my fast cav and clip my black battle sphinx, but they can't get a full. They can't charge them and get a bunch of attacks. If they clip them, they're going to have what, 3 attacks. And I'm not worried about that in the slightest. If his Minotaurs hit my fast cav, they're going to be in my flank. They have to overrun, and it's going to give that orange battle sphinx a charge into their flank. So we go to the magic phase. I reduce the leadership on his Beastlord. Then I get a casket off on him, and I think my opponent, and I think he let it through, thinking he's got, his 9 is down to 8, but he has a reroll, and it doesn't matter. He still takes 2 wounds. So 2 wounds, obviously I've got a couple more wounds to do, but, that just makes him so much more manageable with only 3 wounds remaining. All right, we go to Beastlord's turn 2. Yeah, he takes the bait with his Minotaurs, and I think because there's just nothing else he really could do. He doesn't have any other way to get rid of my chaff. His magic isn't going to do it. Doesn't have any shooting, and I think maybe his only bet is just to hope he gets a favorable overrun, either real short or real long, but either way it's rough. His Longhorns make the charge into my Black Battle Cat, only one's touching. His other Minotaurs, I think they failed their frenzy test and had to declare a charge and failed it. That's why they're all the way back there. So there's that. That's actually ideal. It actually gives me 1 whole turn of fighting to whittle them down so that if everybody sticks around next round, he won't have quite as many attacks. It is kind of scary. He's still wounding me on 6s, but he's being strength 6. I get no armor save against it. And so with all the static combat res, with 2 banners, 3 ranks, and a charge, that adds up, and if I fluff my attacks, that could pop them. The Minotaurs in the top right. After combat, yeah, I just unloaded on these guys. I think I might have used my breath weapon just to get him down as far as I could. He does a single, even with only 3 attacks, he does a wound to my guy, which is really scary. I think he made me -1 to hit. I think that's what that blue token's for. But anyway, but with my breath weapon and Thunderstomp and yada yada yada, I get him down quite a number of models. Which actually, if you look on the top of this, the Minotaurs overran right where you can see them. So my orange Battle Sphinx can either hit the Minotaurs in the rear or hit the Longhorns in the flank. I was sorely tempted to take them in the Longhorns just to make sure I got them dead. Like I said, he has one or both. I think he has both characters in there. And just not take the chance of him sneaking some wounds through. But then I figured there's never a good time to take care of Minotaurs. If I can get a charge to the flank, I think that's about as good as I can hope for. So I went for that. We go to Undying Dynasties. This says turn 3, whatever turn it is. Anyway, Battle Cat at the top into the flank of the Minotaurs. Otherwise, I'm just backing my stuff up. If you look at the bottom, his Wild Horns came on his last turn, and he was far enough away from my Necro Guard down there that actually I think I needed to roll a 10. I needed to roll a pretty good roll to get there. And I was thinking, crap, if I fail that, it's not the end of the world, but he's going to just kind of take care of that 1 unit of archers, and it's going to be kind of a hassle. But he failed it, and I made the long charge, and so his unit is kind of toast. Yeah, there's that. There's that charge. We go to the shooting phase, and I do a low-strength catapult shot on his horde, which means if I do even just a single casualty, he's got to take a panic test at -1. He loses a handful, and he fails his panic test. I think he was, because of his Longhorns charged my Battle Sphinx on the other side of the board, he was out of range of reroll. And I think his general is still -1 leadership, so he was taking a test on a 7. And 7 with no reroll, failed it. And that's fantastic. I mean, I'm not particularly afraid of that unit, but I would always rather be able to face an opponent piecemeal. So down here at the bottom, yeah, I beat the Wild Horns obviously, but then do I let him go or do I pursue him? And the problem with pursuing him is if I roll high, it gives his chariots a chance to charge my guys, and I rolled a 10. Like, I rolled high to get into combat, and then I rolled high after combat. I think in hindsight it might have been better just to let him go and just hang back and make his chariots just sit there for a little bit longer. Battle Cat on the top beats the Minotaurs and chases them down. He still took, man, those guys still did 2 wounds to him, even though only 2 of them are attacking. Just scary. And at the bottom, yeah, I think he didn't do any wounds to me this time. And look at that. That whole unit is just getting eaten by this one single Battle Sphinx. It's just a bad matchup for him. I forgot to take overview pictures, but on his next turn, his Beastlord comes charging into a archer unit, and I can charge out, so I'm not worried about that. His Chariots charge into my Necro Guard unit and just blow through them. I do a wound or 2 to one Chariot, but man, oh man, he hit him, and had he overrun just 1 inch farther, he could have been into the flank of my archers. And at the time I was thinking that would suck, because then he could overrun again, and then he would charge my next Necro unit. But now that I'm looking at it, he couldn't, because he would have had to maximize, and his General's Chariot would have blocked him, unless he overran with his General's Chariot first and rolled just super high, which I don't think it's even possible to get out of their way. So, but anyway, he didn't make the overrun charge. He is where he is, and the General, I think this is after combat. I think I had 15 guys there. He kills the champion, and then with overkill, they crumble, and they're down to where they are. So, we'll go to my next turn. Necro Guard unit charges the flank of his Beastlord. Otherwise, I have a Battle Cat marching. The one who killed the 1 unit of Minotaurs is now marching around to start threatening the second unit. The second unit's really scary. My Necro unit that's attacking his Beastlord, I need him to kill his Beastlord quickly, because next turn those Minotaurs are going to charge in and just wreck face. Otherwise, I put my fast cav down below so that his chariots can't, make a long ball charge at that unit in the forest. Because if he gets there and then starts overrunning, he's going to start hitting units, and it's going to get to the point where I can't hide my Hierophant. Yeah, so up on top, I go back one. If you look on the top, you can't see it well here. There's a Necro unit that just charged the flank of his Longhorns, helping out my black Battle Sphinx. So there's that. So my Battle Sphinx was doing just fine on his own, but I need to get these guys, I need to get a unit into my opponent's deployment zone. So I wanted to, by charging these guys in, and then they can overrun, and then I can move and magic them up into the deployment zone as needed. Here, it's always an option to just issue a challenge with a Necro Guard, but my Hierophant's not close here, so I can't regrow champions. And I figured with all these attacks, there's 3 wounds left on the Razor Tusk, on the Beastlord. I'm thinking my best chance is just to throw the attacks at him and hope that I kill him. And this picture is kind of off, but this is the same thing. I did, and overran. I was hoping to overrun enough to get into the flank of the Chariots for a variety of reasons. One, I could charge the Chariots and keep them from charging, and 2, it would make his charge for the Minotaurs longer. I think it's still an easy charge for him, but at least there's more of a chance he would fail it. And up at the top, yeah, those Longhorns had no chance. So now he lost his Longhorns, his BSB, and his Spellcaster, and his General. This turn is like, that's game. What else are you going to do? But we had plenty of time, so he went ahead and charged his Minotaurs into unit Necro Guard, charged his Chariots into my Fast Cav. Meanwhile, these guys, I think they failed to rally last turn, and so this turn they're like 6 inches from the side of the board and they rally. And after combat, yeah, his Minotaurs, of course, just eat that Necro unit. His Fast Cav, we didn't even roll that one out. I just picked up my his Cav. His Chariots killed my Fast Cav. So we go to my next turn. So the Battle Cat that ate the first unit of Minotaurs now charged through the second unit of Minotaurs. Very, very nice. Now he has 3 that can attack me. But for the most part, I think I'm just fine. And I am. His, let's go back one. Yeah, I couldn't overrun into his Chariots. But I beat the Minotaurs. They ran off the table. The Chariots passed their panic test. Through shooting and or magic, I was able to kill one of them, by the way. He passed that panic test. So on his turn, he tried to charge a casket, and he failed the charge, so he's just sitting out right there. So then on my turn, I shoot magic. I think I kill one, force a panic, and he goes off the table. So, yeah, if you look at the top middle, I've got my Necro unit into his deployment zone. And if you look on the left, I'm moving my Battle Sphinx up towards his Wild Horns. But then I land a rock on them. They fail their panic and run. And then, yeah, it's the end of the game. So it looks like that. So, yeah, that was, that was a 20-0 victory. There were still some moments where things could have happened to really turn this against me. I mean, his Wild Horns fleeing was absolutely huge. If I had missed the charge at the bottom where his ambushing Wild Horns could have started charging the rear of my skeletons, that would have been a real problem. I mean, there were still some things that could have gone against me, so I probably shouldn't have been as cocky going into the game. But it was a real super friendly game. We had a lot of fun. My opponent, I think, knowing he'd only played a couple games, wasn't really expecting big wins or anything, so it wasn't anything like that. So yeah, so game 1 was just horrible. Game 2, points wise, was really good. And we go to game 3. Thank you so much for watching the video. I truly hope you enjoyed it. As you know, YouTube has a variety of functions you can use to interact with videos such as this. You can like or comment on the video, you can favorite it, you can share it, and of course you can subscribe to the channel. And I encourage you to do any or all of those things as a way of interacting between viewer and producer. As always, I appreciate your patronage on the channel and wish you all the best.